Want to make a podcast? Spotify's got a platform that lets you make one super easily, then distribute it everywhere, and even earn money. We like that. All in one place for totally free. It's called Spotify for Podcasters, and here's how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit podcasts right from your cellular telephone or your computer, so no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else, those other places that podcasts are heard.
Video podcasts are also available on Spotify, and when you want to take conversations with your fans to the next level, Q&As and polls are the best way to get them talking. With Spotify for Podcasters, you can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. And best of all, it's totally free, zero catch. We've been using it ever since we started How Long Gone. And ever since I discovered Spotify for Podcasters, I feel like having the option of turning off the Q&As and the polls on the user dashboard has really helped boost my creativity and take it to another level. I highly recommend giving it a try. Download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started. What's up, big fella?
Hey, what's up, big dog?
NYC TJ is in the house yet again.
Yeah, TJ's definitely hungover. He ate some disgusting intestines last night, but Cursed Cuomo just said, that's it, bitch. Masks are over, baby. He just said it.
What do you mean masks are over? Just like straight up dead ass, it's all over?
New York hit 70% vaccination rate or whatever, so he's like, that's it. It's over. It's a rap ski.
That means that it's not required to, but businesses still can ask their patrons
I would
to
imagine.
wear a mask.
Yeah, your little liberal-ass businesses. That's why I unfortunately have to shop at Vons now, because Whole Foods did require a mask this morning. What is Vons smoothie offering looking like?
The smoothies at Vons are going to be in the pre-made section, probably a partnership with Chobani
I didn't know if it was
or something
it
like
was
Yoplait.
a naked juice type situation. You know what I mean? Like that's what it
Do not say naked juice.
I'm sorry.
What aisle is your naked juice, sir?
Yeah, but I went to the gym today. All the gays had their masks off. It was fucking hunting season.
Is your gym a gay gym, Chris?
Yeah, it's like a legendary gay gym.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's for the fellas. It's I literally
Legends only.
Literally, there's no chicks there. I'm not exaggerating. There's like
Perfect for you and your gay baiting ass.
I only want to be around buff gay men when lifting. That's like it's inspiring.
You don't like a little eye candy while you're pumping, Chris? Come on.
No, man. Some workout chicks in Gymshark matching sets with fucking beats, purple beats.
Well, I guess if you are in West Hollywood, right? So
yeah,
okay.
It's not gonna be.
Not every gym is only full of roided out Gymshark chicks who can squat 8 times what I can do.
Yeah, but I don't want. Yeah, you know how there's like
regular people go to the gym.
Yeah, I don't want to be around regular people. I want to be around fucking monsters only.
Ew.
You know.
Okay, Jesus, yeah. You're sick.
I know, bro.
Well, speaking of monsters and big fellas, the thing that I always forget whenever I'm in New York is how every single person refers to me as, hey, big man.
Mm-hmm.
And big man lets me know that someone is about to ask me for a thing that I have, whether it be a cigarette or what, you know.
Hey, big man, let me get $1.
Big man, big fella, only in New York do they refer to me as big man, and only in New York do they still let me know that they could dunk on me and beat me at basketball very easily.
Yeah, these guys could beat you. This guy that's 5'5" could dunk over you in Tim's, bro, while eating a bacon, egg, and cheese. So you something to think about when you're on the court. Mm. But I mean, would you rather your local bodega guy call you big fella or big guy or chief?
I would love a chief.
A classic chief.
I've been calling people boss lately, which goes in and out of style for me. I don't love boss.
So now you're an Armenian guy that works at a vape store? I don't understand.
No, boss has been going around for a long time, and it's always a little demeaning.
Yeah, a chief, I would agree, is a little bit demeaning as well.
Yeah, a little. I guess a little bit. Chief is just kind of like I don't know, it's a little ubiquitous now, but whenever you call somebody boss, it's almost always somebody who, if you were on the employment hierarchy, would be underneath you. Nobody ever says like thanks boss to somebody who's
To an
like
actual boss.
An actual boss. Yeah, it's always somebody who's like, wouldn't it be funny if I called you a lowly person boss?
Yeah.
And you can't do anything about it, but I'm, getting a little silent chuckle myself. These are the ways that us privileged people get to control the narrative, and I'll keep doing it, I guess.
Let me say this. I do love to control a narrative. That's important to me. That's like an important thing to me.
It's very important.
Also, I have a bone to pick with fucking banking. Well, actually, I have a bone to pick with all security measures because
Okay.
I was
Chris
at the
is
bank.
heated right now. I could tell, and
I'm fucking heated right now. I was at the bank over the weekend taking out a fairly large sum of money for an apartment fee.
For deposit.
Yeah, for deposits, all the rent, all the shit. I'm standing at the fucking desk at the bank with my ID. I've swiped my debit card. I've put in my PIN number. They're like, okay, we're gonna send an 8-digit code to your phone for security purposes. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm standing right in front of you with my fucking ID. Why do you need to check? What are you talking about? It's crazy. Everything's got a security, like it's so insane how many steps you have to take to get to anything that you own. It doesn't make sense.
I guess this is a little bit of old man shouts at cloud, but I don't disagree with you. It is
No. I mean, I think that a measure of security is of course necessary, but if I'm standing in front of you with my ID in multiple other forms of
I wonder what scenario would be in place where you showing your cell phone, the 4-digit code on your phone. Like, what scenario would that actually prove advantageous? I can't really think of it. Maybe if somebody was like holding you virtually hostage or something like that, or like there's some weird kind of situation where you have to like blink twice if your PIN code is in danger. I don't know what it is, but
well, I've just been dealing with a lot of clerical stuff lately, and I've just noticed that the logins and the security stuff is getting out of control. But
Tell me about it. I can only look at my Ethereum on my phone. I don't know what my password is for my computer, and it logged me out.
Oh, that's too bad. I'm sorry to hear that. But there's some other news that's breaking.
Okay.
Non-binary Grammy-nominated singer and podcaster Demi Lovato has signed with UTA. She's left William Morris after years and years, so I just wanted to make you aware of that as we continue to try to book her.
Book her on bomb. This is a bombshell. Of course, we heard a lot of rumblings that, the rumors were flying around, but like there was no like solid confirmation that this was going to happen.
Exactly.
And like especially like I was thinking like if this does happen, earliest like September, just the way it's been, but to have that happen like mid-June,
it's crazy. In the middle of the summer to drop a bomb like this, August when everybody's asleep, it would make sense. You know what I mean? But this is it's something else. I don't know how we're gonna deal with it.
So when you hear that, does that mean she was not happy with her representation, or William Morris was like, we're all set with all this, y'all?
I would hope that William Morris was like, you gotta chill, bitch. Like, we're all set on this.
It could be a mutual thing.
First of all, it's never mutual.
That's industry rule number one.
Demi Lovato is
put that on a freaking t-shirt.
Famous enough to like really make money.
Yeah, even if she is brutally annoying, she can still make some agent $900,000 this year.
I love when she dated like an ultimate fighter and honestly, Demi Lovato's gone through more phases than a fucking teenager. Like, it's crazy. She dated an MMA guy and was like into MMA for a while. Now she looks like she's on Designing Women, the TV show. I just don't. I
forgot about design. She's a woman of many. Well, sorry, a non-binary being with many hats.
It's truly insane because Demi Lovato also can really sing her ass off. Like, it's kind of insane how crazy her voice is. Unfortunately, she uses it for bad. She uses it to take down a local froyo place instead of belting out the national anthem at a large sporting event. And that's the problem. That's where her focus needs to be.
She's a good singer, but I don't know. She has hits, but they're Karen hits. I can't name one of her songs.
She ain't got the slappies like some of these other.
She hasn't been able to get past My Gatekeeper's Gate.
No, she hasn't gotten the Jack Antonoff cosign somehow.
I hear you knocking, Demi, and I ain't gonna let you in.
Yeah, Jack Antonoff said, "Nah, I'm straight."
Look, I'm super swamped this summer.
I'm super swamped. This Lord album is coming out. Yes, it's really boring, but look, I gave it my all.
Yeah, oh Lord.
We do have a guest today.
Big twin.
A fella, yeah, big twin, a fella from the music business, George Lewis, aka Twin Shadow, Dominican American singer songwriter. He lives in L.A. You know his music, I'm sure. I'm happy to chop it up with him. He's actually going into a writer's camp, which we can dissect on the show here.
Is he learning or is he teaching?
That's what they do in the music business when people write songs together.
Okay, everyone goes over to someone's house and they have mushroom chocolates and we just vibe out and see what kind of demos we can squirt out.
Yeah, they put on their Diplo Crocs, they get their acoustic guitars out and they just start strumming. But yeah, let's
Is this something? Yeah, let's give him a call.
Is this something? Yeah, let's give Big Twin a call and see what he's up to. Where are you right now?
I'm in Los Angeles. I'm in Beechwood Canyon at my place.
Bro, that's fucked up. I just moved to Beechwood yesterday.
Oh, congratulations. Welcome to the club.
I'm going to need some tips on how to get up to the Hollywood sign. So if you're the guy for that.
Yeah, you need to guide Chris through the wood. That's what they call it up there, right?
Unfortunately, I live in this little tiny pocket where most of the tourists collect to take pictures because it's kind of like
drop the address, Pim.
Yeah, right.
No, there's the amount of tourists up there lately in the last couple of years. I'm sure you've been there for a while. It's getting fucked up.
Yeah, I'm just sort of waiting for some people to get mowed over, and
mowed over as in like vehicular manslaughter, yeah. Kill the people.
He's like, yeah, that's right, bro.
I think some blood on the pavement might just kind of set, I don't know. It might just straighten things out for just a minute.
Yeah, we don't need like many people dead, but we need a little warning shot to let people know that buyer beware.
It actually doesn't bother me too much. I hope one day to own property and just watch my property value just skyrocket because of it. But I have a couple motorcycles in my garage, and I very often times I'm working on them out there, and I have this long, beautiful driveway with these bougainvillea trees everywhere, and a lot of the tourists will walk down this long ass driveway past all these homes, taking pictures. And one day I was crouched sort of underneath a bike so you couldn't see me, and I had 5 French tourists come in and they were touching, like fondling my bikes.
What?
And I popped up and I was just like, in what state of mind, what state of privilege must you be to walk into a man's garage and fondle his motorcycles?
I got the answer to that question, George. French is the state of privilege.
The French, world out west there. We go where
These French motherfuckers think that your house is a museum. But I mean, when I first went walking up to the Hollywood sign, and you have to go, you kind of have to go sometimes through people's backyards, sort of, or at least on their property in the land. And I was walking by and I was looking at it and I was just like, sorry guys, I know that you're used to this, but this is just, it's happening. And to work so hard and get a $8 million house and just 100 tourists are just traipsing through your backyard every day so they can take a fucking shitty ass selfie or a TikTok. It's terrible.
The best part is, Alex was like, why is there a 50-year-old man with a tripod and a ring light on the side of the street? I was like, it's like the Hollywood sign, baby. What do you think? They made it.
Look,
they made it.
I don't look 50.
Peak content creation happening in Beechwood.
Yeah.
For like 45 and up.
That is the vibe is a little older. I would say that though. It's interesting. It's not like super young, like a lot of like tourist attractions tend to be.
You have like artists like Lana Del Rey who really like glorify the like Hollywood thing and the Hollywood sign, and you don't see like real emo kids doing music videos underneath the Hollywood sign.
No.
That's because they're doing them. They follow Lana Del Rey to 7-Eleven instead. So they're doing kind of like they're doing a TikTok at the Slurpee machine in Tulsa.
It's tough to get a parking spot up there in Beechwood, so the young people don't really have the patience for that, and they just keep it moving on.
I don't know about you, George, but when I was 16, I wasn't a great parallel parker. So it comes, that kind of skill comes with age, I think.
It's true.
I didn't know are you a gearhead? gearhead in general? Like, do you have cars and shit too, or just motorcycles?
I sort of am a gearhead. I'm a gearhead by night.
You're a late night grease monkey. Is that what
Yeah, what does that mean? I don't understand.
It means that instead of going out and socializing like a normal human being, I go to my garage and wrench on my bike. I have 3 motorcycles and 2 vintage cars, but I'm not a collector, and I don't love the vintage scene. I respect it. I respect it. It's all for me. It's not for anyone else.
Well, the problem is when you get into anything far enough, you realize it's just dork shit, and it's just different kinds of dorks.
Oh, totally.
You know, it just depends on what the fascination is. But
it sounds like you're into it the perfect amount. Once you make your life around it and you dress a certain way because of what kind of car you like, that's when you go too far, and that's when nobody wants to have sex with you anymore.
Yeah, that's
true.
That's true.
I always say like a warning sign to anyone getting into anything. I said, once you feel like you're 9 years old and collecting baseball cards again, you should probably stop.
Yeah, back on out.
The actual problem with men is that we all get to that precipice very quickly. You know, we stand on the edge of that dorkdom so easily. It's in everything. It's in music as well. It's like music production. The last thing I ever want to do ever in my life is talk to another man about synthesizers.
George, I had about 45 minutes planned where you and I can go over different reverb times and compression threshold settings, but okay.
I guess this podcast is over. Thank you for joining us. But I do.
You're done.
I mean, I feel like I've reached that point a little bit with like working out. But I stop myself at like data collection. Like I don't have an Apple Watch or a Whoop, or I don't use Strava.
You don't have a strap around your chest.
Yeah, I don't want to know any data. I just want to feel good and look good, and I feel like that saves me from going too far. Because if you start crunching the numbers, then it becomes a full-time job, and that takes the joy out of it too. I think to an extent.
You should be crunching your 6-pack. Yeah, and God gives you all the data you need. It's called cum gutters.
Exactly. God will intervene when those calves are absolutely popping. But what is the vintage lineup at the crib? We got 2 motorcycles and 2 cars.
2 Triumphs, 1 new, 1 1972. We've got a 82 Harley Davidson FLH. We've got a 1971 Ford pickup truck, long bed.
I like that.
Are we like Barry Bonds? Are we there yet?
Yeah. No, I mean, you're not.
Do you like how I only knew one baseball player? I was like,
You confuse me for a sports person. That's not. No. I don't like sports. I like looking good. Okay, I'm vain. It has nothing to do with athletic performance. Do you have a new car at all, or just old shit?
We call it the Dad Shield. So I have a car that the cops won't fuck with me in, which is like a VW Golf.
So you do a lot of drunk driving? Because I know what you're talking about. When I was like in my 20s, what kind of car I got, a lot of it depended on, you know, not getting pulled over.
Oh yeah,
because I did like to drink and do drugs. So I would just get the most common car, you know, just a black Prius or whatever it is. Just so you blend in with the crowd when you're swerving on the 110.
Well, Priuses are a target now. You got to go more dad than that. You got to get like a Keurig, a VW Keurig, or one of those Porsche SUVs that look like Shamu.
I got to get a Taycan.
Yeah,
you got to spend $80K to look like a dad in LA. That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty.
But it's true. You can do all the drunk driving. You can smash into all the people on Beachwood Drive and get away with it.
No problem. So do these cars, all this old shit, like this requires constant maintenance from you? Is that kind of the vibe?
It does to a certain point. There's sort of this golden moment where you fixed everything sort of simultaneously. The thing that vintage people who aren't committed get into is they chase one problem at a time. And then the following problem creates the next problem. So it's all about holistic care, you know.
much like the body. I get it now. It's got to be real. Mental and physical.
You got to get down to the root of the problem before it infects other parts of the vehicle.
You know, it's like people who want good breath but don't brush their teeth. You can't. You can throw as many mints down your throat as possible, but
sure,
it's not gonna.
Yeah. And then if you really want to go holistic, like you can hit it with the Tom's of Maine whitening anti-plaque all you want, but if you don't stop eating Indian food, we're gonna have bad breath. You gotta.
Yeah,
that
true.
plug was impeccable.
We don't do this shit for free, okay?
Yeah.
We have to make money. Shout out to our friends at Tom's of Maine.
I'm just here to prompt you guys on ads.
Okay, I'm good. I'm glad you got that email.
The sponsors love organic inclusion, so it's good. It's good to think about that.
Speaking of mowing over tourists and the Toyota Prius, I don't know if you remember this. I barely do, but I almost hit you with my Prius one time at the parking structure of the Gold's Gym downtown LA. Do you remember almost getting hit? Or maybe you almost hit me. I'm trying to remember what it was.
Wow, was I on my motorcycle?
You were just like walking.
Oh, cool.
And I was just kind of
cool.
whipping around the corner a little too fast, and I was like, "Oh shit, sorry, almost vehicular manslaughtered Twin Shadow." Big fan, keep it moving. It was fine though. You weren't mad.
To be honest, when you ride motorcycles, and this is on a serious note, when I really wish it would stop happening, but on a motorcycle, you almost get killed every day by someone stupid like yourself. So
hey, you're alive, bro.
It probably didn't faze me. And honestly, getting hit on foot, somehow, believe it or not, for those of you who don't ride, is much less scary than getting hit on a bike.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a couple guests on our show, fellow musicians who have had some motorcycle issues. I'm sure you're familiar with singer-songwriter Dashboard Confessional. He like a year and a half ago, something like that, just like shattered all of his shit, and he had to relearn how to play guitar. I don't want to put these evil thoughts into your head, George. I'm sorry, but
When I learned to ride a motorcycle for fun, for a story, I was terrified instantly. I just don't have the stomach for it. Like, I just don't. Like, did you grow up doing this? Did your dad do it? Like, where did this need come from?
It's called a need for speed, Chris.
Oh, a need for speed, of course. I'm sorry.
It is something that has been with me a long time, and my father did ride motorcycles, so it does have to do with lineage for sure. And I've been riding really, like, seriously since I was 18. And I say to people all the time, I'm just like, if you didn't start when you're 18 and got this stupid suicidal bug, if you wake up at 30 and decide you want to go to the Harley Davidson dealership, you're not having a midlife crisis. You're having a late night crisis because you're probably going to die within a week.
Yeah. That's how I feel when a guy my age picks up the acoustic guitar and thinks it's time to be a singer-songwriter. I would agree. When somebody becomes a musician after 30, I'm like, what were you doing when you were 14? That's when people start this. You don't start this that late.
Yeah, or just like heroin, just like, come on,
Yeah,
bro. Like, you made it this far, like, don't.
Yeah. There's a difference between getting discovered late and picking something up late. I skipped the gym this morning to hang out with you guys. So what does that say for my physique? Am I just never gonna?
That says that you were in need of a mental workout.
Yeah. Okay.
We're a mental squat rack, if you will. It's kind of how we think about this. What's the gym routine looking like?
I feel like I'm on Joe Rogan's podcast now.
That's right, pussy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll fucking kill you, bro.
Yeah, COVID is fake, loser. No. What is the gym routine looking like?
I've been pretty consistent since getting my gym membership back, which they ripped me off for. We won't get into that.
Go ahead and call out
LA Fitness.
Oh, damn. So you're not a Gold's boy anymore. Okay, we're moving up.
I don't have one near me, and I had some intimidating experiences at the one in Venice when I lived there for a little while. I gave up.
I think I know which LA Fitness you go to now that you say this, but continue.
You guys are stalking me, waiting to hit me in the garage again.
We're going to fuck you up, bro.
I won't avoid the routine. The routine lately has been getting on the bike, doing the spin for about an hour, and then doing like arm workouts. But I don't know any of the terminology.
We're trying to come out of COVID slimmer and with larger biceps is what we're looking for.
Exactly. We're trying to get the cardio going. I actually had COVID after the vaccine, and my lungs
Damn,
are
bro.
like,
No, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Not late stage COVID. No,
Not late
man.
stage.
You should not have gone to Tulum with Diplo. I told you not to do that. I told you not to do that.
No, I went to one party and had one too many people doing the like obligatory I did coke and so I'm gonna talk in your face as close as possible. I was not one of those people.
Of course not.
I got infected by the coke zombies, you know.
Coke talk has infected me personally, and I've also been infected by it. So I can feel your pain. But what were did you get the fucked up symptoms, or was it okay?
I did. I lost my sense of smell and my sense of taste completely. Like I've lost my sense of taste when having the flu, but I've never had anything so profoundly missing.
Interesting.
As my sense of smell and taste.
Like it wasn't kind of gone. It was like empty.
Yeah,
nothing happening.
You could give me a bowl of poop or pudding, and if I was blindfolded, it would be no difference.
There's a new album title right there, bro.
You're doing the work. Damn. So that was like recently.
It was about four weeks ago.
Shit.
Did you get the Johnson & Johnson? Which one did you get, bro?
I think I got Moderna.
Oh, thank God. I mean, sorry for you, but
dude, that's really crazy. So you're fully vaccinated and you got COVID from Coke Talk.
Yes.
Damn, man. Damn, dude. Honestly, though, you're the first person that I've talked to post-vaccination, because I always thought that was a little bit of Fauci spouting some bullshit, but you're proof that it's real.
No, it's real, and I think what's hilarious is that I actually know a bunch of people who it's happened to, and everyone's like so afraid to mention it. Like it actually helps other people if you just tell them
if it's real. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Well, it helps my sexual partners if I tell them I have gonorrhea, but you don't always have to tell them. You know what I'm saying? It's not the easiest combo to have.
Damn, that's really crazy though, man. Well,
yeah, no,
so
it
you're saying
it sucks.
You're having to get your breath back, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I sort of like felt it. I really did. I sort of felt it in my lungs. I mean, I wasn't sick. I wasn't dying or anything, but I definitely just felt like I had this sort of crazy brain fog, and my respiratory situation was not what I'd like it to be.
I mean, obviously, especially since you're a singer and you need that to do your job, but also because I feel like you probably enjoy a nice cigarette.
Oh man, it's like that was actually the hardest part, was that I've gotten to a place with cigarettes where I really, really just enjoy a cigarette after I eat.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah, no shit.
Like
after you eat every meal or after you eat din?
No,
dinner.
He's like,
actually,
how many meals? So I spread out my meals 10
yeah,
times
my
a day.
diet is 6 meals per day. So, and there's snacks in between as well. So it kind of works out in my favor.
So you like a little ciggy for dessert.
Exactly. And
punctuate the meal.
Exactly. It sort of just clears, it resets everything for the next day.
Oh yeah.
I was like, well, I'm eating, but I can't taste it. So fuck eating. I lost like 6 pounds or something only because the desire to eat was completely gone.
Nice. Goals AF.
Yeah, goals and goals.
The COVID diet.
You're back on the bike. Are we feeling better? Are we getting it? Are we feeling back?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty back. It maybe sort of reset my whole, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Hypochondriac. It reset it back to I don't care.
Oh, nice.
Really?
Yeah, the good way.
Yeah, because during COVID, when gyms were sort of still open and hanging on at the beginning, I would sort of be the guy with like wiping down a bike like I was working for the damn gym. And I'd be like, man, twin shadows on his hands and knees cleaning spin bikes at LA Fitness. What the hell is going on?
I swear to God, Twin Shadow had a record deal. I swear to God, he had a deal. I swore, man.
But you weren't like a hypochondriac, super citizen, germaphobe guy before COVID.
I wasn't to a certain extent. I mean,
You a little OCD?
Yeah, I've got my OCD. I before people were talking in my face on coke, I get really. I'm a proximity OCD person. Like I can't have many people too near me. I'm not like on some Trump shit, but there's a certain amount of I don't want to feel your breath particles near
Sure.
me.
Yeah.
I think that's reasonable.
That's fair. I think most people have that,
Yeah.
especially when it's you and you're like, oh my God, Twin Shadows at Tenants, and then 8 people are crowding over you and like, you remember that time when you wrote that song? That was so awesome. And then
it might actually. It's funny because it might have been
next thing you know, you got COVID.
that. I don't think I was always that way, but definitely going on tour. The biggest thing people don't realize is you get sick on tour all the time because you're sweaty after a show, your fans are sweaty after a show,
The pores are open.
you're hugging them. There's something truly beautiful and very sincere about meeting fans at the merch table or whatever after shows. And honestly, you'll never experience a unconditional love like that ever in life. But
That's what I was going to ask you about, because I hate our fans. So I need some help. I need some tips from Twin Shadow on how to fully embrace the fans.
It's not really the fans' fault. It's a you thing, Chris, not a fan thing.
I'm sorry, Chris. I was gonna maybe say the same thing. I think I think the thing that you always have to get over is that, would you be a fan of yourself?
Definitely not.
From the outside.
There's our problem right there.
Damn, that's really hard to think about. But you make music, so it's a little different. I feel like a podcast. I feel like I could see outside myself if it was based on like art. Unfortunately, I don't consider podcasting an art. Jason does.
Well, Chris, I would be a fan of myself. I'd be like, this motherfucker is spitting at me. I would be like, damn, this guy is killing it.
I have a way that you can help put this into perspective for yourself.
Okay.
Chris.
Okay.
Would you rather have your fans or I'm not talking about quantity. Would you rather have your fans or fans of what's that Canadian guy? Joe Rogan leaning
Jordan Peterson.
Yes. Would you rather have, and again, not quantity, but with quality, would you rather have your fans or Jordan Peterson fans? Which one?
Definitely mine. Definitely ours.
There you go.
Have you had like wild fan stuff, or is it usually pretty reasonable for you?
I've had a couple situations that have gotten incredibly out of control, including a fan that hacked into my shit, and I really can't go into it past that. But I've had 3 really, really unsettling experiences in the last 9 years of people taking fandom a step too far.
Mm-hmm.
And it sucks because I sort of understand it. Like I do understand when someone,
you look in the mirror and you say, I don't blame these hoes.
Yeah, I'm hot. I can sing. I got guitars and cars and shit.
No.
I totally get it.
I really do. I really understand when I was 18 years old and Joe Strummer said some shit, and I that was my religion until I completely abandoned it. Being indoctrinated by musicians' lyrics is like, it's so easy when you're young.
A couple years ago, I was hungover as shit. I walked into Gelson's, trying to get a fucking Gatorade or something, and Tom York is there in the Gelson's lobby, and he takes one look at me and he's like, "Not today, big fella. This ain't happening." And he knew something was going to go down, And I respected it and kept it moving. But I think once you are at that level where people are approaching you, and especially if you're a musician, where your lyrics can be very personal and touch somebody's soul more so than like, oh my God, he's killed it on this Avengers movie, or his dick joke was fucking sick. Like they have a real connection with you, like a real one, and sometimes people don't know.
Yeah,
how to
the only thing I could ever feel anything about is music, like movies and TV and shit. Like actors, I like actors and I think they're talented, but it doesn't do the same thing for me that music does.
Same. It's just podcasters for me.
But yeah, I mean, I never slept outside of Morrissey's house and got him to sign my arm and then went and got it tattooed. But I thought about it.
I would.
I did think about it. But I don't know who I would fan. I mean, probably like I've met Elton John before and I kept it together, but he's very high on my list. But I don't know. I think I'm older now where it doesn't, you realize that everyone is just a person. They're obviously more talented than you, etc. But like, it's not, you know what I mean? It's not like this god-like, myth-like creature. It's more like, oh, this is a very talented person that makes something I like.
Very early on, I remember who did I meet? Oh yeah, I remember when I was a kid, my dad was really into Richie Havens, and we went to one of his concerts. I was blown away. It was really one of my first concerts I ever went to. And I remember he was at the merch table afterwards. We met him, and my father sort of was trying to joke with him. And he just had this he was just humorless. And I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that now, because it's like some nights you just can't deal.
Don't have it.
But I had this very quick realization that never meet your heroes, never try to meet your heroes. If you see them at the grocery store buying bananas, that's sort of like dismantling your image of them enough. You don't need to go talk to them and see how even more human they are. Let them be monsters in your mind, you know. Just keep that.
I think if I was, you know, at the Groucho Club and I see Liam Gallagher having a pint, you know, across the way, I want him to remain as he is. You know, I don't want him to, although I would love for him to roast me maybe, and the chance of that is high, I would probably leave him be, because I want the you know, myth in my mind to remain.
Don't take that out of the plastic.
Exactly.
Leave it as it is.
It is speaking of Tom York, my one interaction with him was that I went to go see Nick Cave when he did these shows where he was playing songs and sort of just talking to the audience in between.
Yeah.
So a Nick Cave show.
I was really, really late to the show. I think my manager got me the tickets, and my manager was sitting in this row full of famous people. And I walked in so fast, and I was so excited to watch Nick that I just sort of barged through this aisle. And the first thing I did was stepped on Tom York's white suede shoe.
Damn, bro.
And I was on my motorcycle before, and I looked down, and I actually saw like an oil spot on his white shoes.
No.
And I was like, well, I'm not even sure I said sorry. I just sort of just kept going.
Damn, you can't even get a Johnny Greenwood verse now. You fucked up.
Damn, you really did fuck. I mean, on the white suede.
That's funny though.
It was brutal. You don't wear white shoes in like tiny little movie aisles.
Yeah, stay out of the fucking pit, Tom.
Yeah, Tom. Yeah, stay out of the pit. It sounds like your dad has cool taste in music, though.
There's a spectrum there.
He's on the spectrum musically.
He's the same guy who introduced me to Richie Havens and tried to introduce me to James Taylor. I think James Taylor's like the most, you know, if you were forced to wear a pair of Dockers for the rest of your life, that's James Taylor. You know?
I think James Taylor has his moments for sure, but I think that...
Was that a compliment? I couldn't tell.
I mean, no, but that's exactly what I mean by it. It's like boat shoes and Dockers. Sometimes it's appropriate, but most of the time it's not.
When you put it
Wise
like that,
words.
I think those guys though. I mean, someone like James Taylor is a good example of like he was very cool at one point, and then he's been around too long. It's very difficult to age into being a musician
or a musician into being aged.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like rappers have it the worst. Like nothing is more irrelevant than an old rapper. That it's just we don't like that. But luckily, if you play an instrument, we're a little more forgiving culturally, I would say.
Yeah.
Do you get to do that? Have you done that kind of stuff often, where you've had like the full fucking like horn section and stuff?
I haven't. It's something that it's sort of like this double-edged sword in my mind, where I sort of see that as this very like obvious place that all musicians go, and I get sort of like, okay, you got the gospel singers. Okay, you got the two dancers. Okay, you got the horn section.
Don't come for spiritualized on this podcast. Okay, just FYI.
No, I think it is incredible, and I've seen a bunch of amazing shows like that. But I do think it's like it is this obvious place that people go. I still believe that bigger is not better.
I don't disagree. I think it works really well on like a TV. You know what I mean? If you're playing, you know, Seth Meyers or SNL or something, I think that's the time to do it and make the label pay for it.
Right.
Also, I don't think people realize how expensive it is.
Oh my God, it's ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, then that's I'm sort of speaking out of not having had the privilege yet to be spending that kind of money. It's almost impossible to imagine, especially post-COVID, where you're having to do the expense of like making sure that everyone's tested, to making sure that you're carrying the proper insurance for every human being. I can't even imagine the expense at this point to have that kind of personnel. I don't dream of it.
I think those two things are powerful in their own way. Like singing someone on stage with just an acoustic guitar is like insane to me, and seeing someone with 20 people kill it is insane, just in a different way.
Of course, I mean you hear Van Morrison go la 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 la, and then you hear the horns hit with it. God damn, that's special.
God damn.
I mean, but can you play instruments like that, or are you more of like a guitar keyboard kind of guy?
So I like to try to play every instrument known to man in a mediocre way so that I can record it and not hire anyone.
So you go for the Tame Impala route.
Wow. No, come on. Kevin's pretty masterful.
No. He's a musical genius. That was not a slight on his musical taste. That was more.
He's a good ass drummer. Good ass drummer.
I like him, but I like to play the instruments even more fucked up. My version of that is much more broken, and I'm not going to say the word punk, but I'm going to say the word punk.
You want to put a little George's stink on there in the only way you can.
Yeah, exactly. I don't like to be as clean about my mediocre playing. I just like to go in there. I'm very bullheaded with other instruments. So I've been like playing trumpet, and I do play saxophone, which is my first instrument.
Cool.
But I sort of just like beat the shit out of it, and then I sort of edit down from my ridiculousness.
That's literally our podcast.
Yeah. That's we have a similar approach. Well, is there new music coming? Are you going on tour? I mean, what's the plan now?
He's been releasing some tunes over quarantine last few months, right?
Yeah, so I'm releasing a bunch of singles right now. I have an album coming out on July 9th. The idea is to play some shows in LA first, and then sort of carefully go into seeing what touring looks like. I just feel like tour's the same thing as like getting the vaccine for some people. It's like, I'm going to wait to see how this goes for a lot of other people. Although I rushed into getting the vaccine, so I don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, just let depending.
It's always smart to not be the first person.
Depending on venue size, let us know. We are available for an opening slot. We've been working on our live show. Yeah, you laugh, but it's not funny. This is serious. So we'll talk to your manager after the show.
So we'll do a few very intimate nights with Twin. Just get the kinks out, and then we'll see what we're going to do about Coachella, something like that.
I think that touring, though, I think everything's going to sell out immediately. It's going to be fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I think people are desperate.
Oh yeah. I was at like a restaurant yesterday that's usually so empty on a Monday, and it felt like a nightclub. Like I was ready for the mirror ball to drop in the middle of the day. I think people are ready.
I mean, today is it. I think in New York and LA, I think like most of the restrictions are lifted.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I just saw an Instagram story of somebody at a restaurant ripping the 6 feet sticker off of the floor. the 6 feet distancing sticker.
I really want to do. That's great. That's great content. That's what we need.
Man, people are so rebellious. Such rebels in this country.
People are crazy, man. I was told you were doing a writing camp. Can you explain to us what that is? Because I think people hear that term but don't really know what it means.
Yeah, there's kind of like, I mean, it can mean a couple different things, but in LA, if you're a producer or a songwriter, you sort of go on this speed dating circuit of like musicians that you collaborate with. What ends up happening is that they come over to your house, they're sort of tired, you're sort of tired, you're like, should we Postmate something? Mm-hmm. You eat something on the porch together, you listen to a couple more shitty demos from each other, and then you are like, hey, should we do this next week? And then you never reschedule. To combat that, some smarter and more productive production companies and labels and managers put together these writing camps. They kind of handpick people who actually get shit done, and they put them together. It's not always the case that they pick the best people or that it's productive, but most of the time it's it's an effort to actually make sure that music gets made. And I actually, I used to hate the idea of it, but I actually really admire it now. It's like very much Tin Pan Alley, Berry Gordy model of making music, where it's like, hey, like talented people are fucked up people and they are lazy and they are idiosyncratic and they're fucking weird. So why don't we like just like have them focus their energy for a couple of days? So I actually am very much a supporter of it, and I'm excited to do it. I'm really starting to enjoy it for the first time. I think earlier in my career, like, you know, so much ego goes into music making, and it's really, you really have this thing for a very long time of not wanting to give away your precious energy. And I'm sort of on the opposite side of that now. I don't have myths about like, oh, I really want to create community. I mean, I'd love that, but I know that doesn't always happen. And a lot of times it's just business, and it's business and creative, and that's fine. But I'm much more of the mind that, you know, giving away your energy is actually what helps create more of it.
Yeah, I think that's a story I've heard, you know, a similar story where people, when they're younger, they don't think they want to do it. They think it's kind of a waste of time. Why would I do this? And then as you get older, you kind of see the benefits from it. But I also think that there's, culturally, I think people are more interested in what goes on behind the scenes now than they were when we were younger. People care about who's playing on stuff, who's producing stuff. Like, we know names of producers now, where I think 10 years ago, 15 years ago, unless you were like ahead, you didn't know that kind of stuff.
There's more of a like democratization of power, and power and credit. Credit is kind of given where credit is due a little more. A younger generation of artists are really, really into like, they're like into being crews, and they're into being like really representing their community and lifting each other up. There was this thing in indie rock that was very just like, we want to be rock stars, but not in the age where rock stars made tons and tons and tons of money. And so there was sort of this sad kind of loneliness that also was broke. It's nice to see people being like, no, like all my boys who come up with me, or and girls who come up with me, like everybody gets a piece. And I actually really love that.
I think once you get older, you're more open to work with other people, and you're more open to the idea that somebody else's input could help unlock some things in you that you didn't even know were being blocked.
Totally. Totally.
You know, and that's just being a Virgo. I don't know if you're a Virgo or not, but it feels like it.
I'm an Aries, I say all this, and I am still the most sort of closed door musician I know. I need like a supreme amount of quiet to create. I need to, like, this may sound dramatic, but I 100% really believe this. I always say, like, I need quiet to hear God, you know?
Let's go.
And I really genuinely believe that. I can't have someone interrupting me with their thought in the middle of a thought that might take 3 hours. Like I will sit and stare at my screen with Ableton, and I'll just look. I won't touch anything. I won't play a single note. And then it'll just be like, okay, I got it.
Shit.
And that thing being interrupted by a person tends to make me feel homicidal, you know?
So you're saying,
to put it lightly. Yeah. So like this God's going to come out and talk to me. It might be 5 minutes. It might be 5 hours. I'm going to sit here and park it like I'm waiting for the supreme drop to happen. It's going to take as long as it takes. And if I have some heifer blabbing in my ear, it's going to be fucked up. I'm going to have to start over from scratch.
Totally.
So you're saying you're in the lab like alone, like there's no producer, there's no like engineer. It's you in the laptop and whatever you need.
This whole record that I just made was almost entirely that. COVID, quarantine, pandemic quietude. It was great.
Do you get a lot of alone time and quiet time, or do you maybe get too much?
I definitely probably almost get too much. I've become a loner for sure, like a certified one. I'm trying to make sure that sort of stays inside of making art, and that I like release myself from that when the art is done being made. So I'm working on it.
What's the drug intake looking like these days? Are you smoking trees? Like, what's going on in the stew?
I think it's mushrooms.
Yeah, he's definitely a mushies guy.
You sort of nailed it. I've definitely been more of a mushroom guy recently. I'm going to put this on the record because I want him to know that his weed is too strong.
Seth Rogen?
No. Actually, should I?
Yeah,
no,
you
maybe
should.
I'm
No,
not.
no, no, you should. Yeah.
Shout out your drug dealer. Please shout out your drug dealer.
I'm sorry. Sorry, two white boys can't peer pressure me into anything. I'm not gonna say his name, but he knows who he is. I went over to his place to borrow a mixer. He said, "Hey man, do you want to take some nugs with you?" And I was like,
this guy sounds cool, whoever it is, but go ahead.
Okay, can we guess who this is?
And I was like, sure. He's like, yeah, this is the stuff I've been growing. And I was like, oh, well, definitely. So of course, instead of, I'm thinking he's going to hand me like a joint he's rolled or something. And instead he gives me like the like monster garbage bag grip of the stuff.
Garbage bag? I thought you were going to say like the Erewhon mason jar. The big dog Erewhon mason jar, but you got hit with the garbage bag.
The garbage bag, the hefty. And so I go home, and I was with my girlfriend, and we
start breaking it out into grams.
Yeah, exactly.
I pulled out the scale.
I've got a whole box of Ziplocs that haven't been used for sandwiches.
So I had my girlfriend get down into the underwear just so she can't take any of my shit. Start breaking down GERS. There's a gun on the table in case something gets a little sideways.
Yeah, you can't be too careful in these situations.
That's how Daddy got a new Triumph. You know what I'm saying? It was a big year in quarantine.
No, I did the opposite, and I got home and she really smokes, and she can handle herself. And I not so much. I'm more like a psychedelics person, and I love alcohol. So
let's go.
My thing was like, oh, I'm gonna go home and eat this little edible that I usually eat, which is really this really super chill. I'm not big on trees, so I don't know the grams. I ate the edible, and then I had 2 puffs of this dude's weed. You know who you are. You know who you are, motherfucker. And within minutes, first of all, we were laughing. And then she thought it was funny if we put on Cheech and Chong, because I was like, I've never watched that movie High. So we put that on.
I love this.
It's immediately not funny. It's immediately scary. And then I just go into a fetus position on the couch, tears water falling off of my face, and looking up to her and saying, have you seen that the meme where the guy's like eating an edible and he's crying, and then he's like, I'm fine. And at the end he goes, should we go to the hospital?
That was you?
That was me. Like I was shivering and being like, I think we have to call 911. Yeah.
Damn.
For real. For real.
So you got crossfaded on weed only. You did edible and Seth Rogen's weed, and you got fucked.
Damn.
It was terrible. And so honestly, I'm like,
you're all set.
I've never had a bad trip on mushrooms. I've never had a bad trip on acid.
So it was only Diplo's weed that did that to you.
That's crazy that he's growing in Malibu. But you should. If you're looking for something, you might want to try Coke, man. Just want to throw that out there. It sounds like it's. I mean, I don't know.
I think he's ready.
Yeah, I think you've graduated, man.
Twin Shadow? He's been living in Beechwood for a while. He's been making the music that he makes. I don't know if cocaine is outside of his.
His purview.
This
his purview.
This weed growing musician is not the type to drop NFTs. All right, that's my clue.
Damn.
Oh, okay. Another hint has been.
I love a hint. This is a fun game. This is a fun game on the show. Well,
we should have done an hour of this.
people would love this.
Name that fucking nug grower.
Wait, what did you borrow? What did you borrow from him? A synthesizer or what?
A mixer.
A 70s Tascam mixer, not to get all baseball card about it.
Okay. So you got a funky little board.
Devendra Banhart does live in the neighborhood, I think. So that
No, Devendra will no. Devendra is notorious for killing all of his plants. That guy could not.
He can't keep a cactus alive. That Devendra. God damn it, man. That's really funny. Well, so you learned your lesson, and you're gonna have to stay away from the grass.
I mean, I've learned that lesson like 20 times in my life.
That's a good point. Yeah, we've all learned that lesson. But if your girlfriend's chiefing, it's gonna be tough, you know.
She's a smoke legend. I don't know how to. I can't keep up. I just get drunk and fall asleep on the couch like the.
Is it like is she like a wake and bake type, or is it just like when duty calls?
Oh, don't put her on blast.
No, I don't mean it in a bad way. I think some people operate better like that. I just could never wake and bake. I could only smoke at night.
No, she's definitely not that. It's more just
the strength does not bother her.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's just she can tie her shoes.
Yeah,
I cannot.
Yeah, okay.
You know?
Sure. The basics. She can brush her teeth and do a whole thing. It's.
She's like, I'm gonna smoke this joint and then just be normal and not go into the fetal position.
Yeah. There's something I've noticed in general that women handle weed better than men.
Me too.
I don't like being around guys. I mean, I don't like being around a lot of guys on a lot of different substances.
Yeah, that's a good point. Poppers only for me.
Exactly. Honestly,
I'd rather hang out with a bunch of hot chicks instead of dudes.
No.
That's crazy,
Jason.
I mean, that's crazy, bro.
Mm-hmm. Call me loco, but yeah, that's me.
Damn. Well, all right. So, Twin Shadow George, thank you for joining us. New album out July 9th.
July 9th.
What's it called?
What's the name of the record?
It's called Twin Shadow.
Damn.
Yeah.
I love when somebody puts out the self-titled, later in their career. That's a power move.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I'm going for.
We love that. And you have a new label, correct? Your own label.
I do. I'm putting this out on my own label. It's called Shri Shri. Don't send demos yet.
Okay, well, I guess I'll wait 6 months. You give me the high sign, and we'll get one over to you.
Do not send this man any WeTransfer links. They will expire before he downloads them.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. Honestly, it was great, and new record July 9th. We'll make sure to listen to that. Tickets will be on sale, I'm sure, for these LA shows at some point. So you guys stay tuned.
If you're a fan and you do coke, 6 feet.
Yeah, please, 6 feet, please.
6 feet is a distance.
And I'll see you at Gelson's. I'll be the guy loading up the BMW with cases of sparkling water. So if I look like I need help, I do, and I would appreciate if you came over.
I got you one.
All right, thank you, King. We'll talk to you soon.
Take care. Thanks, guys.
I'm sick to your heart.